I tell people this all the time. It doesn't matter who it is. If you go to church, whether you go to church or not, I tell people this all the time. It's not about religion. It's not about what religion you belong to, because your religion will not get you into heaven. The church that you go to will not get you into heaven. The position at your church will not get you into heaven. I tell people all the time, it's not about religion. It's about having a personal relationship with God. It's very important to have a personal relationship with God, because there are people who go to church who've been going to church all their lives, 30, 40 plus years, and they still have a lot of curses on them. They still have a lot of personal issues. You'd be surprised at people who go to church and pretend that they're so perfect, and then when they go home they are like totally miserable, or they do whatever it takes to bring other people down to their level, and they have a lot of secret sins, and they have a lot of secret lives. They have secret lives that you probably don't even know about. To have a personal relationship with God, you need to pray that He reveals Himself to you one day, and just keep trying to seek Him, and He will reveal Himself to you. And it's not easy to follow God, because there's a lot going on in the world, as we all know. But that is the best thing to do if you're trying to make it, because honestly, without God, nobody can make it. Your religion will not help you make it in this world. Only having a personal relationship with God, Him talking to you every day in your conscience, within yourself, that's the only way you're going to make it in this world. And keep in mind, all of those TV preachers, I used to watch those TV pastors like John Hagee. I used to watch him a lot, but for some reason I stopped watching it. I don't know, they just, preachers nowadays, they don't really tell you what they really need to tell you. They're very repetitive, and they they're kind of lazy too, because sometimes they will preach the same messages over and over again. They don't talk about the real issues. They talk about what will comfort people. It's not all about comforting people. It's about telling people the truth and what they need to hear. You don't ever hear preachers talking about stop having so much sex, or they don't talk about child support, because a lot of them probably have kids out of wedlock too. They don't talk about all the problems of child support. They don't talk about they talk about like sex sins, like fornication and adultery, but they don't talk about like drug use. They don't talk about like financial problems that people really, the real problems that they themselves have, but they don't want to talk about it, like paying your child's tuition, and like financial issues. I don't know if I said that right, but yeah, they don't talk about low self-esteem within the black community. They don't talk about like why so many people are so hooked on watching reality TV. They don't talk about like arrogance, like people being arrogant. And but if you were to have a relationship with God, He's gonna show you what's really going on, and He's gonna let you see things that people really don't see. Because judgment day comes, God is gonna ask you, what did you do for me, and how did you help other people? How did you draw other people to me? You understand what I'm saying? So religion, at the end of the day, is not gonna help you. It's just gonna keep you trapped, and it's gonna be make you become a fake person, and you're not gonna be a real person. Be honest about what your real situations in your life, things you need to fix, and what's really going on in your life. Like I said, it's not about religion. It's about having a deep, intimate connection with God. That's what really, really matters. And that's pretty much what I wanted to say. Because you notice people with relationship with God, they are more in tune. Well, okay, I'm adding more. Yeah, they're more in tune with themselves, they're more at peace, and they're not trying to live a life that they don't understand just to be a part of the norm, just to be a part of a group because they don't want to think outside of the box. It's important to think outside of the box and not think how everybody else wants you to think, or how you think people want you to, how you think people want you to think. You have to be smart, and you have to take chances with your thoughts, and you have to do research on things that you grew up with. Like the other day, I was doing research about the truth about like pagan Christian holidays. You know, the holidays we've been all our lives we've been celebrating Thanksgiving and Christmas. I'm starting to do my research about that, and God is gonna lead you to make videos if you want to make YouTube videos, or to research certain topics, and just even little things that you think God doesn't care about, He cares about them. So that is the wonderful thing about having a relationship with God. Even at times where you feel like you feel hopeless, because this life is not easy, and a lot of times you might feel hopeless. So sometimes I feel that way too, like hopeless, like why even go on? There's like so much going on in the world, but sometimes you just have to take a breath and just pray, and just take some time for yourself, and just pray and just ask God. God is not going to answer all of your questions right away, but He will answer your questions, whatever He wants to answer. If He doesn't want to answer, He's not going to answer it. Because there's a lot of things that people don't, like pastors and people, they don't tell you in church. But when you have a relationship with God, He will tell you a lot of things that people will not tell you, because they're afraid to tell the truth. And we're living in a time now where people don't like to hear the truth, and they just like to BS everything. And I think that's pretty much what I wanted to say. I think I wanted to add something else to that, but it's not coming to mind now. So I think that's all I wanted to say. And I hope you guys listen to this message and keep in mind that it's not about religion, because religion is just keeps you in a box, and is traditional, is man-made. How can you, yeah, that's what I wanted to say. It came to my some back to my mind. How can you say that you have God because you go to church? Church, God is not in church. God is within you. You have to have a personal relationship with God, and He has to live inside of your heart. Otherwise, you're just wasting your time. When you go into church, you're just wasting your time. It's, you go to church, but you have to have a relationship with God first to understand the whole church thing. And in my opinion, I don't think you really have to go to church to have God. So, but having a relationship with God is what's key. And if you want to go to heaven, if you want to see God one day, and if you know certain family members who were following Christ and who had a relationship with God, and you want to see them one day in heaven because you strongly believe that they went to heaven, excuse me, then you yourself have to have a personal relationship with God, and don't be afraid to tell people what's really real and tell the truth about people's situation, because that's the only way they're going to be set free, instead of you puffing them up and telling them fake messages and everything is going to be okay, and you're not really, you're tippy-toeing around their situation, beating around the bush, but you don't want to tell people what they really need to hear. And if people want to take it, they'll take it, but if they don't, they don't. That's their problem. But you have to say what you have to say. So that's pretty much what I wanted to say. Okay, so I hope you guys have a good day. Bye.